Welcome back to season 3 of Be Bolder. It's been a minute since we've connected last, but we at Be Bolder really wanted to think about what can we do to add the most value? How can we find the best guests and speakers to connect you with as audience members, and really put forth the best shows and product that we really can. So we thank you for your patience and welcome back, because here we are. And this season, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about consistency, accountability, awareness of your surroundings, and more importantly, yourself, and dedication. And those all seem like really simple buzzwords, and you're like, great, boring. No, some of the boldest things we can do are stay super dedicated, super consistent to the things that we're working on day in and day out, because I'll tell you, life gets in the way and we find lots of excuses about what we can do, what we can't do, how busy we are, what else we've got in the way. So we'll talk more about that as the episode rolls on. But before we get into it, we did want to introduce the new thing that we have pulled together for you this season and marching forward. Any of you who know me, I'm a super avid reader. I like to have anywhere between 3 to 5 books going at any one point in time. And I read everything from end of days post-apocalypto to self-help nonfiction and everything in between. While I won't burden you with the post-apocalypto, post-societal type books here, we did want to introduce, drum roll please, Be Bolder Bibliosofts. And so what we're going to be doing every single month is we're going to put out 2 books. And those books are going to be, one's going to be a fiction and one's going to be a nonfiction. And we're going to tie them back to the things that we're talking about every day and why we think that they were a good fit or a good suggestion for you. Do you need to read the books or listen to the books on Audible or however you intake your material to get the most out of these podcasts? Absolutely not. If you're super into reading and you're looking for new stuff to jump into, maybe these are a good fit for you. The journey's yours, right? So this month, I know the month is ending pretty shortly here, but these are 2 pretty easy and pretty fun reads. The first, on the nonfiction side, we're going to go with Wintering: The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times. And that one's by Catherine May. And for the fiction, we're going to go with 10,000 Doors of January by Alex Harrow. And so we have one of those for each of you, because I think, some people love fiction, some people love nonfiction, and I want you to enjoy this as much as you can. And so this week, we are kicking it off, this next cycle, with consistency. And we'll have a couple episodes on consistency rolling into accountability. And so we thought the book, The Wintering by Catherine May, was a great place for folks to start. We are in the period of time after the new year where New Year's resolutions or plans for the year tend to fall off track. We tend to be tripping out of that consistency pattern because life gets in the way. And this book is I'm not going to spoil all of it for you, but it is a really interesting tale of what happened to a woman who had it all going for her, but wasn't taking the time to consistently apply self-care principles to make sure that she was giving her best every single day. Because here's a pro tip that you've heard me say about a bajillion times at this point: if you're not taking care of yourself, you cannot put forth your best self. If you cannot put forth your best self, there's no way that your work product output, whatever it's going to be for you, is going to be the best that it can possibly be. So I challenge you, if you're going to read that book, give it a go and think about the life that you want. Are you willing to sacrifice a couple weeks a year for rest and retreat and quiet so that you can focus on you? Or are you willing to sacrifice longer than that because you can't do what you got to do because you didn't take care of you? So that's what we're going to jump into for this season, but let's get right into it. Enough of this book talk. Let's get into this podcast action. This week, on to consistency. So first topic we're going to kick into gear with this session is really just consistency. What does it mean and how do we apply that in our everyday lives? And so the first thing I'm going to start with is consistency is just doing the things that you need to do no matter what comes up, no matter how busy you are. And we'll talk about being busy in a little bit. It doesn't matter, hey, there's bumps in the road, there's hiccups, there's car trouble, there's partner trouble, there's work trouble, whatever it's going to be. But if you're incredibly consistent in doing the things that you need to do, and you know exactly what you need to do every day to hit your goal by date X, you're moving a glacier, and it doesn't even necessarily look or feel like you are, but it is happening. Okay. So first things first, consistency does not equal perfection. Okay. In no way, shape, or form is that true. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean you have to be absolutely perfect in executing every single thing that you need to do every day. You have to put good faith, or like I like to say, good old college effort in every day to try to make those things happen and make those things come to reality and come to fruition. But look, there's going to be things that don't go our way, that are going to be messy, that are going to be ugly, that are going to be hiccups. But as long as we keep on the course, we're already in the top quartile here. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It almost never is, right? But we have to be consistent in moving our ball forward each and every single day. Okay. So what does consistency really look like? And let's maybe think about an example. Okay. So one of the things I like to think about if I'm setting big, very audacious goals is, okay, if I want to achieve X and I need to do that in the next 6 months, what are the things that I need to do on a monthly basis to know that I'm achieving that goal, on a weekly basis to know that I'm achieving that goal, on a daily basis to know that I'm achieving that goal? I mean, quite frankly, I could tell you to the hour of number of hours that I need to bill clients or whatever to be eligible for bonuses in my law firm and all that kind of good stuff. I could tell you to the hour the things I need to do on personal projects that I have in my life. And why do I do that? That sounds like a little bit neurotic, but I know if I do 2.1 hours of certain things every single day, as long as I do that, I'm achieving my goal at the end point and the end period. It also tells me, hey, maybe yesterday wasn't as great of a day. It was a 1.9 hours dedicated towards whatever my goal was. So tomorrow I've got to do 2.3. But the key is there overall, I definitely am doing the 2.1 every single day. And that's what I encourage people to think about. What is your 2.1, right? So that you can achieve those goals by the time that you actually desire to achieve them. And so consistency is getting up and doing that every single day. And let me tell you, that is actually harder sometimes than going, oh, I just got to do 2.1 hours, bingo, bango, like calculated that out, whatever. It gets hard because life gets in the way. Our emotions get in the way. We get tired. We get frustrated. Look, we're all instant gratification type of people. I am the first person to say, like, I would love to have instant gratification on every single thing that I work hard towards and do, but that's just not real. Okay. If it was real, everyone would do the things that you're working towards trying to achieve in your new business, in your company, getting, that next great hire in your role or new role that you're trying to achieve, whatever the case is going to be. Okay. But if it was easy and if it was a really quick fix, we wouldn't really have to think about setting goals for it, and it wouldn't be hard, right? And so consistency is pressure over time. Okay. So think about the glacier that's moving across the North American continent thousands and thousands of years ago. That puppy wasn't moving at a really quick rate, but over time it traversed the continent. Now, when we're thinking about the things that we've accomplished, it's really easy to get stuck thinking like, man, I'm on this glacier and I'm not going anywhere. It's because it's really hard to look back and see the progress that we've made over a period of time, unless we really do force ourselves to step back and go, oh, I started at point A and looking back, holy smokes, I'm already at point D. But we don't do that, right? Because we get tired, we get flustered, we get frustrated. And I feel that, okay, because I get that too. And there are so many days. I mean, I even said it this morning. as I was thinking about this, I was like, man, like I'm tired. Like I just want a day to myself where I can do A and B and C, but I can still do those things. I was just being like a little dramatic. And we all get that way. It's okay. We all have moments where we go, I don't want to do that thing. And I'm tired. I want to do whatever else in my life. We see our friends or our colleagues or our partner or whatever doing fun things that we want to do, and we have to make decisions. Well, it's no coincidence that those things are dropping into our lives, because the universe is testing us to see, like, are you really dedicated to the thing that you said you wanted? If you spoke it into existence, are you willing to do the thing or the things over time that are going to bring that to fruition and to be so? And so, look, I get it. I will give you an example. There are times where I have said, okay, I know I need to do, X, Y, and Z over the course of this week in order to achieve this goal. And I'll tell you, one time in 2018, like life got in the way, right? And how did life get in the way? I've said this on multiple episodes over the course of our journey together, but I have high functioning anxiety and high functioning depression, which is like a real treat in your mind sometimes when those two things decide to come out to play and collide. And anyway, those two things, particularly the depressive side, had reared their ugly little head for me in August of 2018. And I can remember waking up and I could barely pull myself out of bed. We all have days like that, like whether you have depression or not, like we all have days. Okay. And it's okay to have those days. But it's what do you do to pull yourself up and do the couple little things that you need to do to keep yourself on track, knowing that tomorrow will be a better day. You just kind of got to wade through. And so as I sat there and I thought to myself, like, man, I can't even like put pants on, let alone do a bunch of work and perform at a incredibly high level to achieve goals A, B, and C today. How am I going to get this done? My husband took a look at me. He said, okay, what 5 emails do you need to send today? I said, okay, I need to do this and this and this and this. He said, great. He said, we're going to send the first one. And he sat down next to me in my office and I sent the first email. And okay, felt all right, got the first one out the door. And that was like, just that beginning, and like getting myself started and getting myself moving was probably the hardest part. And then I sent the second one and the third one, and the train wheels started going and I started to pull myself out of that. But sure, could I have just laid in bed all day and said, forget it, I'm not doing this damn thing today? Okay, maybe. But the people who perform at a really high level and do it consistently and push themselves and really try to get to that next level, they're able to override that in their heart and in their brain and in their soul, whatever it's going to be, to say, look, I got to get that thing done. And I know I'm not going to be perfect today. I'm not even going to be close, but I'm going to get those 5 emails out the door so the train doesn't stop moving. The train will keep moving. It's not going to accelerate today, but it's going to at least keep moving. Okay. And I sometimes have to look back and think about this, because we all have days where we feel like the world is in front of us and we can't do anything, take another step. We're just overwhelmed. I once opened a fortune cookie, and that fortune cookie, the little fortune, again, and I always like to think the universe is talking to me. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, doesn't matter. But what that said, and I ultimately framed it and I keep it on my desk to this day, it says, begin, ... The rest is easy. And how true is that, right? Because all we got to do every day is just begin and get the wheels turning to get those things done that we need to do. And we just need to do that every single day. Great. So why is it so hard? Well, it's so hard because most people are inconsistently consistent. And inconsistent consistency results in inconsistency, okay? Or a lack of a set of goals that you're wanting to achieve, at least not in the time frame that you want to achieve them, right? And I think the easiest way for us to think about this, even if we're thinking about, we can think about it in any way, our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health, our financial health. If you're not saving enough money, and you're not doing the things you need to do every day, well, or you're inconsistent, you have 1 month that's super great and you invest a lot and you're really doubling down on you, and the next month you go out to eat every day, well, you got a twofold problem. It's probably your finances aren't exactly doing what you want them to do, and your waistline's probably not looking the way that you want it to look. So I always try to use diet in this scenario because it's the easiest one for us to all connect with. As we all start to get older, if you're listening to this and you're 22, you still have metabolism, so bless your heart. But as the rest of us continue to get older, we need to work a little harder. And so we do need to focus on what we put in our bodies and how we take care of ourselves every day. Great. And so I think a lot of people, they go, okay, I want to lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds. Great. And they eat really well one day. They have salads and they eat chicken and broccoli and, they eat super clean. And they get on the scale and they're like, well, I only lost 0.2 pounds. And that felt like it was a lot. So forget it, I guess I'll just not lose 19.8 pounds. And that's just not how it works, right? At the end of the day, if we want to have consistent change, we need to be consistent. It's not consistent clean eating one day. It's consistent clean eating over the entirety of the week, and then over another week and over another week. And I've noticed I didn't say you have perfect eating. I also don't think perfection is real. We shouldn't demand that of ourselves because we're going to crash and burn. But if we can do the things consistently so that, 97% of the time we did really good. But like one day, did we have a box of gummy bears? We sure did. But you know what? Like overall, it's still okay because 97% of the time we were moving in the right direction. And, I think if we can think about things that way, did I do a super majority of the time what I needed to do? Did I consistently eat well? Did I consistently think about my finances? Did I consistently protect my mental health? Did I consistently meditate, pray, whatever it is that spiritually calls you to move myself forward? Well, I think our outcomes are then probably pretty good. But it's very easy for us to let go of those things. And it's very easy to fall out of the consistency because we make excuses. And our number one excuse, what is our number one excuse? I will tell you what our number one excuse is. The number one excuse people will use is, well, I'm just really busy. I'm too busy to eat well. I'm too busy to be with my financial planner. I'm too busy to go and talk about my feelings every week. I'm too busy to sit and take 10 minutes every day and meditate. And I hear you. I have been the person who has said all of those things. But what I came to realize ultimately in reading a Tony Robbins book of all things, right? Love him or hate him. The guy is a motivational guru, and it was Unshakable, I think I was reading. And he started to talk about it. Well, if you're too busy to take 10 minutes to meditate and do 10 push-ups and to, clear your mind and think about where you're going for the day, what kind of life are you really leading? And I was like, bro, that hit me. So that was true. Did that mean I completely course corrected in that moment? No, absolutely not. I still continued to flounder. But anyway, busy ultimately is just another way of saying that's not a priority to me. So I challenge you as you think about being really consistent, when things pop up in your life and they start to, challenge your goals, or you find excuses as to why you can't make changes to be hyper consistent, is one of the things that you're saying, I'm too busy. Because really all you're saying is, well, I'm saying this is important to me, but it's really not a priority to me, right? If you want to grow and develop a business and that's your thing, you want to start the next great idea. Well, if you're not taking small steps every day to do that thing, and you're always saying, well, I'm too busy, I need to sleep more, I need to do this more. Look, I'm not saying don't take care of your health. I'm the first person to promote your health, but what are some of the other things that maybe you can cut back on? Are you playing on Instagram or TikTok for an hour plus a day? Because I just found you 60 minutes, right? That you could find time to work on your business, call a professional to get help, find a developer, maybe you're doing some consulting work, think about your branding, whatever it's going to be. But if you're saying, well, I'm just going to scroll through this, or I'm going to play Wordle, or I'm going to do whatever, like, you do you. But it's hard then to go, oh, well, I'm just too busy to achieve my dreams. No, your dreams just really aren't a priority to you. So maybe it's time to reprioritize and figure out how you can get into a groove and be consistent and be hyper dedicated to that consistency. Because the second we start to slide off and make excuses about why we can't be consistent, oftentimes is when we start to see ourselves flounder and falter and struggle, and then we end up back where we were. So if you're writing a book and your thing is that you need to try to write for 20 minutes a day, okay, well, 20 minutes a day, or maybe you can just sit down for an hour and 40 minutes on a Sunday, whatever it's going to be to move your ball forward. But you get what I'm saying. You have to set aside the time. You have to be dedicated to the consistency. You have to get in the flow of that. And you have to know that your glacier is moving. Diamonds aren't created overnight. They're created by pressure over time. Go make some diamonds. So with that, I welcome you back to season 3 of Be Bolder. And as always, don't forget, don't just be bold, be consistent and be bolder.